My mom sent me a voice message. She sounded surprised and happy. Wendy, you've finally come to your senses. I told you Sean isn't good enough for you. I'll send you the contact information for your blind date soon. I told her that I would be back in 3 days. After our conversation ended, the door handle turned. Following that, Sean entered in a wheelchair. When he saw me sitting on the couch, he frowned and scolded me out of habit. Didn't you say you'd celebrate my birthday? Why are you just sitting there? The cake I had made for him was lying in the trash. I stared at Sean before I looked down at his legs. He dared not look at me, probably because he felt guilty. He quickly turned away and spoke impatiently. Forget it. I knew I couldn't count on you. I didn't expect you to celebrate with me anyway. I'm hungry. Make me something to eat. You can do that, right? Sean ordered me around without a care. I was just disappointed. To him, I was not his girlfriend of 5 years. I was a free maid. He thought that it was normal for me to do things for him and take care of him. He saw me as a servant, not a lover. Right then, my disappointment grew. I wanted to ask him why he had been lying to me. However, after some thought, I decided not to. I did not care about his legs anymore, and I was leaving anyway. Just then, someone knocked on the door. Soon after, Josie walked in without asking. She did not seem to notice the tension between Sean and I. She walked over to him and affectionately tied a scarf around his neck. Then, she straightened up and raised an eyebrow in fake surprise. Wendy, you're here too? I was bored, so I knitted this scarf. I have no idea if Sean will like it. Sean glanced at me and said with a smile, Josie, you're so talented. This scarf looks great. They were exchanging flirtatious looks right in front of me. I took a glimpse of the scarf that Josie had knitted. I suddenly remembered that I had also knitted one for Sean a week ago. What did Sean do at the time? He looked at it with disgust and tossed it on the floor like trash. Wendy, if the time you spent on knitting was spent on work instead, people at the company wouldn't ostracize you, he said in a mocking, disdainful tone. I lowered my head and picked up the scarf. That night, Sean suddenly grabbed it from the couch and hurried out in his wheelchair. I thought that he had just lied about not liking it. Worried that he might catch a cold, I quietly followed him. However, I saw him give the scarf to Josie, who was waiting outside. Josie, this scarf is for you. You don't need to buy clothes for the stray dogs anymore. Wendy's scarf is warm. You can lay it on their bed. Sean's irritated voice snapped me out of my thoughts. Wendy, are you deaf? Didn't I tell you to make Josie a cup of coffee? I took a deep breath. I needed to bear with it. Just 3 more days. 3 more days, and I would be done with both of them. Josie spoke up for me. Sean, don't talk to Wendy like that. Maybe she's just tired from taking care of you, so she didn't hear you. Then, she glanced at Sean's legs. He hated it when people mentioned it. Sean glared at me and said, Wendy, don't be difficult. I'm your boyfriend. It's your job to take care of me. He gritted his teeth as he looked at me. That's about to change, I suddenly said. It was my first time talking back to him. Sean was caught off guard. When he noticed that I was not panicking as usual, he glared at me again.